Hey everyone, and welcome back to Colonial Chronicles, Revolutionary Minds. I'm Alex.
And I'm Ben. Today, we're shifting our focus to a figure who was sometimes cranky, always brilliant, and absolutely essential to the birth of our nation, John Adams. He wasn't always the flashiest, but he was undeniably one of the most important minds of the Revolution.
That's a perfect way to put it, Ben. While Washington commanded armies and Jefferson drafted declarations, Adams was the relentless legal and political engine, pushing for independence when others hesitated. Born in Massachusetts in 1735, he was a lawyer through and through, sharp, opinionated, and fiercely independent.
He truly was. One of the most interesting parts of his early career was after the Boston Massacre in 1770. British soldiers had fired on colonists, killing several. Public opinion was absolutely furious, demanding justice. And who stepped up to defend the British soldiers in court?
John Adams. It seems wild, right? A patriot, defending the very soldiers who shot colonists. But Adams believed deeply in the rule of law and the right to a fair trial, even for those he disagreed with. He proved that the colonists weren't just a mob, they believed in justice. It was a courageous and unpopular decision, but it showed his immense integrity.
His legal mind quickly turned to the growing conflict with Britain. He was one of the earliest and most vocal advocates for independence. When he got to the Continental Congress, he was like a force of nature, constantly pushing, persuading, and arguing for a complete break from Great Britain.
He was. While Jefferson wrote the Declaration, it was Adams who argued endlessly behind the scenes, convincing his fellow delegates that independence was not only necessary, but achievable. He famously said that the decision for independence was the greatest question ever decided in America.
He really put his entire being into it. He was highly persuasive, and even if some people found him a bit stubborn or intense, everyone respected his deep knowledge and his unwavering commitment to the cause. He and Jefferson were sometimes rivals, but they shared this incredible bond over their shared mission.
And his contributions didn't stop in America. While Washington was fighting battles at home, Adams took on the incredibly dangerous and crucial task of being a diplomat in Europe. He went to France, trying to get help and money for the struggling young nation.
His mission was often lonely and frustrating. He didn't have the charm of Franklin, but he had an incredible work ethic and an iron will. He eventually moved on to the Netherlands, and it was there he achieved a huge diplomatic victory, securing a vital loan and formal recognition from the Dutch, making them the second country to acknowledge the United States as independent. That money was desperately needed.
Absolutely. And then, at the very end of the war, he was one of the three key Americans, along with Benjamin Franklin and John Jay, who negotiated the Treaty of Paris in 1783. This treaty officially ended the war and secured America's independence and its vast new territory. Talk about being present at every single turning point.
He really was. After the war and the creation of the Constitution, Adams became the first vice president under George Washington. He often felt a bit sidelined in that role, jokingly calling it the most insignificant office that ever the invention of man contrived or his imagination conceived.
That's Adams for you. But then, in 1796, he was elected the second president of the United States. His presidency was incredibly challenging. The country was very young, still figuring things out, and caught between rivalries with Britain and France.
He faced huge pressures, including the XYZ affair with France, which almost led to war. Adams prioritized peace, even if it was unpopular with some in his own party. He also signed the controversial Alien and Sedition Acts, which limited free speech and were heavily criticized. It shows that even great leaders make decisions that are debated for centuries.
It does. He was a man of immense principle, even if those principles sometimes led to unpopular policies. He never hesitated to do what he thought was right, even if it cost him politically. He only served one term as president, losing re-election to his old friend and rival, Thomas Jefferson.
It's so interesting, their relationship. They were intellectual sparring partners and political rivals, but remained friends through letters in their later years. They actually both died on the exact same day, July 4th, 1826,
50 years to the day after the Declaration of Independence was adopted.
That's an amazing historical coincidence, truly fitting for two such pivotal figures. John Adams might not always get the same fanfare as Washington or Jefferson, but his unwavering dedication, his brilliant legal mind, and his courageous political efforts were absolutely indispensable. He was the backbone of the revolution.
He certainly was. His story reminds us that there were many different types of revolutionary minds shaping our nation, each vital in their own way.
That wraps up another fascinating episode of Colonial Chronicles, Revolutionary Minds. We hope you enjoyed exploring the life of John Adams.
Join us next time for more insights into the incredible figures who shaped the American Revolution.